Good morning, lovely yogis. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is a gorgeous sunny Sunday here in Portland, and thought we would celebrate that with just like a really luxurious, juicy, stretchy sun salutation, but in a slow way class. So we'll just wake up and salute the sun and hopefully feel really languid and long and relaxed afterwards. We're going to start sitting cross-legged in a comfortable way for you. So if you need to sit up onto a prop of any kind, please don't hesitate. Nothing is required for this class, but of course any props that make your practice a little bit better are always welcome. So situate yourself in a comfortable cross-legged seat. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. Bring your chin a little bit towards your chest. As you do that, imagine you're leaning back against a wall that has just appeared right behind you, and you want to take your shoulder blades a little back, and the back of your head can kind of rest there against the wall, so you feel supported but tall, reaching up through the crown of your head. Take a few breaths here. Notice how as you lean back, the front of your body, your core, starts to engage just a little bit. Here, we'll start to circle the body. You can keep the eyes closed if that feels comfortable. If not, you can always blink them open. You're going to roll on your inhale, a half circle towards the front. And on your exhale, you'll complete that circle towards the back. Go with a range of motion that maybe just feels a little bit stretchy. If it feels possible, you can start to increase the size of the circles at any point, making them a little more stretchy. Feel free to kind of roll yourself into this. You can use your shoulders to guide you. You can bring your head into it. It should just feel pleasant and kind of like all of the parts of your torso and your hips are starting to just get a little bit more awake. At a comfortable point in your circle, it doesn't matter where it is, you're going to switch directions and just go the other way. Moving with your breath. And here, you're going to start to decrease the size of the circles. And sometime in the maybe next 5 or 6 or 7 breaths, you'll bring yourself all the way to a point of stillness. So the circles start to grow smaller, but also slower. You're still moving with the breath. And coming back to that seated, straight, and tall point. There's no rush. Whenever it happens for you, it happens. When you do happen to reach that point, again, sit against your wall. Your shoulders roll a little back. Your head can come a little back. Take a deep breath there. And blink your eyes open. Switch the crossing of your legs. Get comfortable. We're just going to go a little deeper into that action around our torso. As you inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, bring your right hand down and your left arm over your head. Soften your bottom shoulder. You are welcome to look up underneath your top arm. Ground your left hip down so it's not lifting up. You're not leaning to the side. You are stretching to the side so the whole left side of your body feels more open here. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to take your left elbow towards your right knee, just as far as feels stretchy for you. Inhale, open everything up. Exhale, elbow to knee. And do that one more time. On this last one, you're going to place your right hand down somewhere close-ish to your left hand, and then walk your hands towards the center line. Spread them out wide, maybe wider than your shoulders, maybe even as wide as your knees in front of you, and just start to move a little bit here. Sticking your elbows out wide, you can kind of move like a cow and a cat if you want, undulating your spine. Or you can move side to side. It's whatever feels comfortable. It should look silly. It should not look in any way elegant. You should feel at least slightly foolish. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk your fingertips in towards you, coming back to seated. Find that imaginary wall behind you. Roll your shoulders back. Take a deep breath here. And then you're going to go over to the other side. You reach your arms up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you bring your left hand down and your right arm over, and you come to that side bend. And again, you really want to soften this bottom shoulder. This bottom shoulder should be totally relaxed. You can look up under the top arm if you want. Right hip is relaxing to the mat, so you feel that deep side stretch. You just enjoy that for a few breaths. Inhale here. As you exhale, take the right elbow to the left knee. Inhale to open everything up. Exhale, elbow to knee. And you do that one more time. That's honestly one of my favorite ways to start off a class. It just feels so nice for all of the muscles of the back and the core. Keep your arms low. Walk forward. This time, maybe find a bit of stillness. You can rest your hands on props, your forearms on props or the floor. You can even reach your arms really far out in front of you if you like. Keep your tailbone moving backwards as your torso folds forward, so you feel a nice stretch in the back of the body. All right. Walk your fingertips in towards you one more time. You're going to sit up against that imaginary wall so you have really excellent posture. Shoulders back, crown of the head tall. Just the lightest tuck to your chin. So it's just that your back of your head is touching the wall and you're gazing straight forward here. Take a deep breath. And then wiggle out your fingers. Stretch out your legs. You can give them a wiggle or a shake. And you're going to make your way to standing up at the front of your mat. As you come up there, set your feet hip distance or maybe even a little bit wider apart. Spread your toes wide. Reach your arms up over your head as you breathe in. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up and just stretch a little bit. You can go side to side or you can kind of look up and down. Any little movements, you can even draw circles here. So you can just start to feel the sides of your body working. Inhale, reach straight up. As you exhale, fold the palms together and come forward, sticking your bum out behind you. Rest your forearms on your thighs. Wiggle your butt from side to side. You can do this with your forearms on your thighs or your hands on your thighs. You're basically just pumping your knees forward and back to wiggle your butt a little side to side. And do that for another breath or so, just warming up. And then you're going to come to a bit of stillness. So you could come into that forward fold with your body propped up. You could put your hands, of course, on props, or you can come a little bit lower if you feel ready. Hands to the floor or to props a little closer. And just angle here for a few breaths. Feel free to add some gentle movement, rocking or swaying. Maybe nodding or shaking the head. I'm going to bend and straighten my legs because that just seems like it would feel really good. So anything that appeals to you here. Take another deep breath. We're going to go straight into our sun salutation from here, just like uber slow sun salutation. So as you inhale, you're going to drag your hands up your legs, finding halfway lift. Keep your knees at least a little bit soft. Lift the pit of your belly, reach the crown of your head forward so you feel that now it's like when you were sitting against the wall, only now you're bent over in half, so it's even a little bit harder. You have to find even a little more engagement in your belly. You can leave your hands on your legs, or you can take your hands behind you. I'm resting one hand and then the other on my tailbone, shrugging my shoulders back. Take a deep breath here. Again, the knees are a little bit soft, so you'll really feel the back of your legs. And then as you exhale, release. Drape your belly over your thighs. Bring your fingertips to the floor or to maybe a set of blocks. Step your right foot back. Bring your right knee to the mat. Walk your fingertips in to frame your left foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Roll your shoulders back and simply lift your gaze a little bit. That's it. If you like to be up a little higher on blocks underneath your hands, please feel free to do so. Take a breath here. And then you're going to shrug the hips back, plant the hands down firmly, take the left knee back next to the right knee. If you're not quite in a table pose, adjust so the hands are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. Close your eyes and move in any way that feels good. It can be cow-cat-ish, it can be swaying side to side-ish. You can move your shoulders and your hips, you can draw circles. Anything that feels good. And the closing of the eyes is just so that you can get into what feels good instead of worrying about what this appears to be. Again, you might feel quite silly. You should feel at least a little bit silly. Push yourself to do something awkward and different. I'm pretending I'm a very happy cat now. I'm kneading my little cat paws. So do something that's just a little weird. It's okay. It's good to move our bodies in ways that we don't typically move them. We're going to spend another 1 or 2 breaths here, just finishing up whatever weirdness you're working on. And then come back to your table. From your table, you're going to tuck both sets of toes under. Push your hips a little bit back so you feel the stretch in your arches, the arches of your feet, and then see if you can lift your knees and come to a downward dog. Again, here, keep your knees a little soft and move in any way that feels good. You can always come back to moving in table if your wrists or any other part of your body is not having a downward facing dog type of day. That was strangely difficult to say. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk or step your feet up to the front of the mat, coming back into that forward fold. Keep your knees soft. Really drape your belly over your thighs. You can be resting your hands or your forearms there as well. Inhale, you're finding this super slow half lift. And you are more than welcome to keep your hands on your legs, a little bit of a bend in your knees, even if you're starting to feel flexible here. If you'd like to go a little further, you can again put your hands onto your low back or reach your arms behind you like airplane wings. Make sure that your low back feels strong as you reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale to release. Plant your fingertips down, step your left foot back. Bring your left knee to the floor. Bring your fingertips or your hands on props to frame your right foot and simply roll your shoulders back and maybe gaze a little bit forward. That's it. Really simple, really gentle. Waking up slowly to the beautiful day ahead of us. When you're ready, shift your hips back, plant your hands down, take your left knee back next to your right knee. We're going to do things a little bit differently on this side. Walk your hands now a little bit further forward and slide your shoulders over your wrists so you're in your low plank. We're going to do some funky cobra action. As you're ready, exhale to the floor. Now lie yourself all the way down. Take your hands wider out than you normally would. So out, maybe even outside your mat. Feel free to angle the wrists in any direction that feels good. I like mine kind of pointing outwards at about 45-ish degree angle. And then you can let your elbows wing open here if you want. Inhale, press the tops of your feet down, start to lift to cobra. Feel free to stay really low or to come a little higher. And just like we did in the seated position, you might move around a little bit here. You might look a little one side and the other. You might simply lift and lower a few times. Again, you can close your eyes and you can just feel what feels good. If having your hands really wide doesn't feel good, bring them closer in. That's just an idea. For me, it's always easier to get up into that first cobra when my hands aren't right underneath my shoulders. I like to start this luxuriousness with a little bit of ease in my spine. A couple more breaths here, moving in any way that feels good. In fact, you could just stay at the top. I'm even letting my shoulders come up by my ears here because it just feels good. You could just nod your chin or take it from side to side. There's no wrong way to do this if it feels delicious and stretchy. When you're ready, lower down. Bring your hands more or less under your shoulders. Press yourself back to a table pose. Tuck your toes under again. Press a little bit back through the arches of your feet. And then lift your knees. Come to downward dog. Move a little here. Maybe just consider turning your feet out. Toes out, heels in like a little frog. Or you could do the opposite. Turn your toes in. That feels really weird. Feels quite good on the ankles. Maybe roll them being the ankles. And then as you're ready, walk or step your feet up to the front of the mat. Dangle for a breath or two. Soften your body. Get low and get a little bit kind of sloppy almost, like you're just hanging. You're doing as little as possible. You're basically doing all that you have to do to not fall over and nothing more. And then you start to wake up a little bit, and as you inhale, you slowly slide your hands up, maybe onto your shins or onto your thighs, or maybe you reach your arms behind you or rest them on your back. If you're feeling quite frisky, you can reach your hands out to the sides now. I'm limited by my wall, so I'm going to do a cactus arm out to the side. Lift the pit of your belly, reach the crown of your head forward. Your legs can be a little straighter now, but still just the teeniest bend in your knees. Inhale. As you exhale, fold. Keep the knees soft. One smooth breath is going to roll you all the way to the sky. Feel free to walk your hands on your legs or to take your arms out and up. Reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers again. Push up. And again, just move a little bit here. Forward, back, side to side, circular. Stretch it out. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your hands drift down by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. You can take your hands through the center again or out to the sides, your choice. Inhale, slide to halfway lift. You're welcome to add arms behind you like airplane wings to the lower back or out to the side. Exhale to fold, plant the hands down, step the right knee back, bring the right knee to the floor. Of course, feel free to cushion that knee. We'll go a little deeper this time, sliding the fingers in to frame that left foot. You're framing the left foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together, press your left heel down, and maybe lift up a little higher, hands onto your thigh. Press your thigh away from you as you roll your shoulders back, looking forward and maybe slightly up. You're welcome to guide your hips further forward if that feels good, but keep your belly button a little bit engaged. So as you come forward, your belly isn't just kind of hanging out, it's a little bit pulled back so that your low back isn't experiencing any discomfort here. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, come forward. Plant your hands. Again, you're going to take your hips a little back. Left knee next to the right knee. Slide the shoulders over the wrists. You're in a low plank position. Elbows come bending towards the back of the mat as you lower all the way down. Any variation of cobra, you can keep your hands close together, or you can bring them wide again. Roll yourself up as you inhale. And down as you exhale. Tuck your toes under, slide your hips back towards your heels. Feel that stretch in the arches of your feet. And then when you're ready, lift your knees, come to downward facing dog. Move here a little bit. Or if you find a particularly lovely spot, you could simply be still. On an inhale, this time you're going to float your right foot to the sky, lifting it up. We're going to stay here for a moment. You can always drop to table if this gets to be too much for your wrists. Keep a little bend in your left knee. Keep lifting your right leg up, but drop your right hip a little bit. So you're squaring the hips. It's not an opening. It's not a scorpion. You're just stretching the legs. If it feels good, you can straighten your left leg, but it's still relatively early. I'm going to keep a little bend in my knee. Let's take one more breath. And then you're going to sweep that right foot forward to the front of the mat. Soften the left knee, step the left foot up next to the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Any variation, feel free to add some extra arms. Exhale to soften. Inhale, roll yourself one smooth breath to the sky. Exhale, let your hands just float down by your sides. Take a deep, full breath here. With the next inhale, float your arms overhead. Exhale to fold, your choice of how to take your arms through the center or to the side. You can experiment. Inhale, luxurious halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hand, step the left foot back, bring the left knee to the floor. Again, squeeze your inner thighs a little bit together. So you're almost scissoring your legs here, and then press into your right heel. You can have your fingertips on the floor, your hands on blocks, but use a little bit of strength to push yourself up, bringing your hands to your thigh. Press your thigh away from yourself. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe you even look a little up. If you like, you are welcome to lean forward into the front knee if you'd like a deeper stretch at the front of the body. You can imagine that you're looking up and out towards the sunshine. Beautiful, gorgeous day. Inhale here. As you exhale, fold, plant your hands down, slide your hips a little back so you can take your right knee next to your left knee. If you need to adjust where your hands are as you slide your shoulders forward, please do. Exhale, slow to the floor. Any variation of cobra. You can even take a sphinx with your elbows on the floor, roll your shoulders back as you lift up on the inhale. Slowly float down on the exhale. Press the hands underneath the shoulders, push back. Tuck the toes under, stretch the feet a little bit before coming to downward facing dog. Moving for a few breaths. This is also a perfect opportunity if you would like to drop down to a table and move your spine there, or to a child's pose, maybe crawling your fingertips out in front of you so that you can stretch a little deeper along the spine. Do what feels luxurious, delicious, and kind of yummy to your body this morning. That's what this is all about. When you're ready, come back to your dog. Lift your left leg to the sky. And again, we're going to stay for a breath or two. If it gets to be too much for the wrists or just a little bit more extra blood to your head, please feel free to drop down to the table, but keep lifting your left leg. The right leg is a little bit soft. The left leg lifts up as high as you can, and then you soften the left hip, so you're squaring the hips. You'll feel a little bit of a different sensation in your low belly as you do that. You have to really grip with your fingers, lifting the palms of your hands. If you need to, you can straighten the right leg. And then when you're ready, sweep that left foot forward. Step the right foot forward next to the left. Find the fold as you exhale lazily. Inhale, lift up halfway. Any variation on the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll up. Exhale to float your hands down by your sides. Take a deep, full breath. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, half lift. As you exhale, plant your hands down, step your right foot back, bring your right knee one more time to the floor. Fingertips frame the left foot, squeeze the thighs together, lift up. This time you might come a little bit higher, lifting your arms up to the sky as you feel ready. Maybe even gazing up towards the sunshine real or imagined. I can see it trying to shine so brightly around the edges of my curtains. Keep your belly a little engaged. As you exhale, bring your arms down in front of you. Cross your right arm in front of your left or on top of your left. You can use your left arm as a lever to pull your right arm across the body. Or you can wind up back, so fronts of hands together in a little bit of an eagle. Feel your elbows growing a little bit heavy as you breathe out. On your next inhale, you're going to unwind your arms, bring your fingertips to frame your left foot. Tuck your right set of toes under, lift your right knee up. You might like to place blocks or your fingertips on the floor on either side of your left foot. This is your inhale, shrug your shoulders back, look forward, maybe even up. As you exhale, pull your hips back, straightening to any extent that feels good your left leg, maybe folding a little forward, maybe looking back. Inhaling forward to lunge. Exhaling back to pyramid. Let's do 3 more like that. Feel free to flip your front toes up if you like. And here, we're going to stay in pyramid. So as you straighten your left leg, take a look back at your back foot. If you're quite happy right here, you can go ahead and stay. If you want a little bit more stability, you can always step your right foot slightly further in and place your right heel to the floor. You can even take your left foot further to the left if you need to create more stability for your hips. As you keep straightening your left leg, your left hip moves backwards, your right hip moves forward. Feel free to walk your hands higher up on props or even on your leg as you do this. Gets a little more intense if you decide to drop that back heel down to the floor. You can always keep it lifted. That's totally fine. You just want to really feel a luxurious, deep stretch at the back of the left leg. Breathing deeply. With the next inhale, you're going to look a little bit forward. Bend your left knee. If you dropped your right heel down, lift it up so both feet are facing straight forward and back. Really ground down through your hands. You're going to come to a 3-legged dog. Or if you prefer a 3-legged table, shooting your left leg to the sky as you inhale. Bending your left knee, stacking your left hip on top of your right for your scorpion. Really push against an imaginary wall with your left foot as you push against the actual floor with your left hand. So you feel a deep stretch along the left side of your body. Inhale, come back to 3 legs. Exhale, step that left foot forward to the front of the mat. Soften the right knee. Step the right foot next to the left. Find that forward fall. Let go. Inhale, slowly peel yourself up to a half lift. Exhale to release. Inhale, roll yourself up to the sky. As you exhale, float your hands down by your sides. You'll take 1 deep breath before we move on to the other leg. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting your hands down, stepping your left leg back. The left knee comes one last time to the floor. Fingertips frame that right foot. Squeeze your inner thighs together, lift up. Maybe this time you're ready to go a little bit higher. Lifting the arms as you're ready up to the sky. Keep the belly a little engaged. Maybe you can even gaze up if you feel quite stable. To the place where the wall meets the ceiling or where the imaginary sun is in the sky. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you bring your arms in front of you. Your right arm is going to come on top now, pulling across the body. You could also wind the arms up, backs, or fronts of the hands together for a little bit of eagle. Stretching out the shoulders. Elbows growing heavier with each out breath. Bring your hands down to frame your right foot. You can go all the way to the floor, to the fingertips, or to blocks. Tuck your back toe under. Lift your back knee. Inhale. Shrug your shoulders back. Maybe a little bit of a gaze forward. You can dip your hips down. Exhale. Straighten that right leg a little bit. Maybe folding over the thigh. Maybe looking back if you're feeling quite flexy. Inhaling forward. And exhaling back. And it's just so that you feel a lovely opening in your hips and the backs of your legs. You got 3 more. Your pace, your range of motion. And on the last one, you straighten that right leg and you stay. And you're more than welcome to stay with the back heel lifted. I find that's easier for my hips, but I kind of like the stability of stepping my back foot in just a wee bit and then placing my heel on the floor. And you're welcome to join me there. You can be putting your hands on props or walking them higher up your leg, especially if you're placing that back heel on the floor. Makes it a lot more work for your hips here. And you just come over that front thigh until you feel that, oh, so delicious, stretchy action happening. And we'll stay breathing into that, opening up. I like to imagine it's, on a day when it's beautiful and bright and sunny, you kind of open up all the windows in your house and you can get some fresh breeze in there, and it just feels so new and lovely when it is starting to move towards spring. And this is the sensation in your body. You're kind of just opening up, stretching out all the muscles, aerating everything, giving yourself a little bit of freshness. When you're ready, you're going to bend into that right knee, come forward, turn your back foot straight forward and back, really ground your hands underneath your shoulders so that when you're ready on an inhale, you can take your right foot to the sky. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip top of your left. Remember, you can always do this in table if you prefer. And as you take that right foot behind you, you press down through your right hand so you feel the stretch along the whole front of the body. As you inhale, square the hips. As you exhale, you step that right foot all the way forward. Left foot steps forward as well. Inhale, lift up halfway, any variation with your arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll yourself all the way up. Exhale your arms down by your sides. Take a deep full breath. Feel the spaciousness of your hips, your legs, your torso. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway, engaging the belly. Exhaling to fold. Right foot steps back, right knee now stays lifted. Now you're going to take that right heel and drop it down to the mat just like we did in the pyramid pose, kind of a warrior 1 foot. If you need to walk your left foot further left, please do. Frame your fingertips or your hands on blocks around your left foot. Squeeze your thighs a little bit together and lift yourself up to standing. Reach your arms to the sky for warrior 1. Maybe even pulling the belly a little bit back so that you can gaze up and find the sun. Relaxing your shoulders here. See if you can find all 10 of your toes against the mat. Are they all there? Are they all present and active? Inhale, reach up a little higher. As you exhale, take your hands behind your back. You can interlace your fingers. You could hold the wrists or the elbow creases. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Maybe even look up a little more as you inhale. As you exhale, fold belly to thigh or torso to the inside of the front thigh for your humble warrior. You might choose to lift your hands away from your lower back if that feels good. Squeeze the left hip towards the midline so you're hugging your left buttock in towards you. Lifting the pit of your belly up and in this humble warrior. When you're ready, you're going to peel your body slowly back up. Release your hands. Plant them on either side of your left foot. Turn your back foot straight forward and back. We're going for one more three-legged dog or three-legged table. Take your left leg to the sky as you inhale. As you exhale, you could bend your knee and come back to scorpion. Now you can stay right here. If it's in your practice and you want a little more, you're welcome to flip over to your wild thing. You'll shift forward a little bit. Shoulders more over your wrists. Keep rolling so now the right toes are facing towards the left edge of the mat. Bring your left foot behind you. Let your hips dip a little bit and then lift up. Maybe your left arm comes up over your head. You can take a deep breath there, enjoy. And then the hard part is flipping yourself back. Left hand down, left leg up as you inhale. Everybody put your left foot down on the mat. You could stay here, rest in child's pose or table. Or you can take a little half vinyasa, inhaling forward to plank. Knees up or down, exhaling to the floor, going for the kind of luxurious knees down version. Inhale, cobra or up dog or sphinx. Exhale, make your way back. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Enjoy. And walking, stepping, or if you like hopping, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, pick up halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to your sides. You take a deep breath before we bring that home on the right. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Left foot steps back. Left knee stays lifted as you frame your fingertips around your right foot. Step that back heel down to the mat. And I just moved my left foot a little out to the left because I know my hips are quite tight on this side. So I want a little bit more space between the heel of my front foot and the heel of my back foot. You're welcome to join me. Press your fingertips down. Squeeze your thighs together and lift up. Warrior one. Relax your shoulders, adjust so that your hips face forward and your knees feel good. Engage your belly a little bit. That means your tailbone will automatically go a little bit towards the earth, but the action that you want is just that the core is feeling strong and stable so that if you choose to look up, you don't fall over. The core is supporting you in this little balance effort. Looking up to the sun, to the rest of your day, and you're like, yes, I feel ready. I feel ready for whatever the rest of my day has to offer. Inhale here. Exhale, take your hands behind you. Lace the fingers or hold the elbows, anything that feels good. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe even look up a little more, entering into a little back bend. And then fold to your humble warrior. You can lift your arms up if you want. Hug your right hip towards the midline. You should feel your outer right hip doing a bit of work here. Lift your belly up to support your lower back. Just luxuriate in the sensations in your body. Feel your toes. And you're ready. You're going to inhale. You're going to peel yourself up. You're going to plant your hands down under your shoulders, turn your back foot straight forward and back, and you're going into that three-legged table or three-legged dog, right leg to the sky as you inhale. As you exhale, bend your right knee, stack your hips. And you're more than welcome to stay in any variation of scorpion. If you feel a little bit frisky, you can always, again, shift a little forward, shoulders over the wrists, drop back. Your left toes will rotate towards the right side of the mat. Your knees will bend a little bit as you kind of start to roll a little more open. Your right arm comes over your head. Your hips can lift up. You're in this beautiful wild thing, or some people call this rock star. And then you roll yourself back and kind of soften down. You put your right hand down. You rotate on the ball of the left toes. And you lift the right leg back up. Place the right foot down. Option to stay in dog or table. Or to join me in a vinyasa. Or to take a child's pose. And again, as you come through your push-up, pick which one feels good, knees up or knees down. Pick a cobra or a sphinx or an up dog that feels lovely. Exhale to release, and this time we're all going to meet in child's pose. You're going to push yourself back to child's pose. You can take your knees wide, forehead to the floor. Relax your elbows down to the mat and breathe deeply. All right. As you're ready, you're going to walk your fingertips towards you. And you're going to come to seated. And once you come to seated, you're going to swing your legs out to the side and bring them in front of you. Feel free to sit up onto any kind of prop here, or to place any kind of prop, a rolled up blanket or pillow underneath your knees as we fold forward. That may feel more kind of pleasantly stretchy in your back and the backs of your legs than pull stretchy. You want to go for that like, yummy stretch, not the, can I make it stretch? When is it going to be over? So accommodate your body today. Let it have what it needs to feel really good. When you're ready, you're going to lift your arms up over your head. And you're actually going to soften your knees a little bit, even if you don't have a prop under there. Flex your toes. Your feet are facing, your toes, are facing up towards the ceiling. Reach up, engage your belly button, maybe lean back just a hair. You'll feel the whole front of your body activate, even your quadriceps. Lift up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, start to fold forward. Go just as far as you can. You can straighten your legs at this point if that's a possibility for you. Hold yourself here for a deep breath. On your next inhale, you're going to come back up. Lean a little back. Exhale. Inhale to reach up, and exhale to reach over. And again, you're going to hold here. We're going to do this one more time. You can have really soft knees here. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, lean a little back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach over. Hold for one deep breath. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift the pit of your belly so your belly and your thighs are as close together as they can be in the fold, but then your belly is lifting away from your thighs at the same time. And now let go. Find that forward fold. You can rest your hands on your legs. On the floor, you're welcome to hold your feet or a strap if you want to. You might like to sway a little bit here. Again, do what feels nice. Yummy stretches. When you are ready, slowly roll yourself back to seated. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Bring your gaze forward. Find that imaginary wall behind you. If you need to bend your knees more, please don't hesitate. But now your tailbone kind of touches, your shoulders kind of touch that wall. You brought the back of your head to the wall. You could be resting your hands wherever it feels good. And just take a few breaths here in this Dandasana or staff pose. I'm closing my eyes so that I can really tune into where my body is working to sit this way. I can feel my thighs working, I can feel my core working, I can feel a little bit in my lower back, but it's not uncomfortable because I'm engaging my core. I feel that I actively need to roll my shoulders back to keep them against my imaginary wall. You can also, if you want, do this against a real wall. A little bit easier. Just notice how much work it is to sit up straight and tall. We sit, most of us, for a vast portion of our days. We often sit in ways that are not engaging our muscles properly. We are stressing them into weird positions that are not functional. And we forget what it feels like to actually have good posture. And especially with the legs extended, even with the knees bent here, this is quite difficult. You really have to engage to get that posture. It's much easier if you were sitting cross-legged or in a chair. Let's take another deep breath. Feel all those muscles working. And then release. You can even slump a little forward. You are going to draw your right knee in. And we'll take a twist. You can take the twist with your right foot on the inside or crossed over to the outside of your left leg. You're welcome if you want to fold your left leg in towards your right hip. Whenever you're ready, lift your arms up. Both butt cheeks should be on the floor as you twist over to your right. You can hug your knee towards you. You can take your arm to the outside of your knee. Whatever feels lovely. Relax your shoulders. If you feel like your body is nice and stretched out, you want to go a little deeper, you could start to come towards a bind by wrapping your right arm around your back. You can even go around to your right hip. You can't see, but I'm resting the back of my hand on my right hip around the side. If that feels good, you want a little more, you can lace the left arm to the outside. That might feel like plenty today. If you want even a little more, you can start to turn your left hand a little bit and reach underneath your legs. And I have to lean a little forward to get there, and then I can straighten back up. Sometimes your fingertips will meet each other here underneath your leg. Often they will not. Sometimes just the action of turning the arm is enough to get that deep stretch. I'm just going to fold my hand up here because that feels perfect for me today. Let's take another deep breath. Gently start to unwind everything, come back to the center line. Oh, wiggle out your legs a little bit. Maybe even ride an imaginary bicycle here if you want. And when you're ready, sitting up straight and tall. Find that imaginary wall. Remember, you can always bend your knees. Draw your left foot in. Cross your left foot if you'd like to the outside. Or draw your right foot in towards your left hip, your choice. When you're ready, lift your arms up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, twist over to the left, hugging or lacing. And if that feels just really nice, just stay. There's no need to add on if what you have feels perfect. You can always adjust and come a little more back, a little more to the side. If you want to work towards a little bit of a bind, you feel like your muscles are quite open, you could always take that left hand around. It's resting here for me. I can get over to my right hip, but it might be just behind your back. You might be able to go quite a bit further. If you want to go even a little further, you can take the right arm to the outside. You can start to turn the palm. You could stay there or fold your palm up so that your right palm is facing the left side of your mat. Or you could see if you can come all the way around and underneath. This side I can actually get my fingertips together. Maybe I'll try and stay here for a few breaths. But I'm only going to stay as long as it feels like really nice. Like, oh yeah, it's a great stretch. It's very enjoyable. If it starts to feel a little intense, I'll release my hand and maybe come back here. Taking another deep breath. And unwinding everything. Shaking out the legs, and what I'm doing is just leaning back onto my hands and then riding my imaginary bike. You could also just shake your legs or sit flat on the floor and shake your legs. This just feels nice today. Feels like a little bit of engagement from my core that feels quite pleasant, but not too strong. And then when you're ready, you can put your feet down and just kind of reverse hop yourself up so that your butt is right in the middle of your mat. Soles of the feet on the floor, hands behind the thighs, lift up again, sit against that imaginary wall, roll your shoulders back, gather your belly button in. Inhale. As you exhale, super slow, articulate your spine one vertebrae at a time, down to the floor. You might reach the point where you can't hold on behind your thighs. That's fine. You can extend your arms, or you can bring your legs with you if you want. Lie all the way down. Relax. Slide the soles of your feet in so your knees are pointing towards the ceiling. Adjust any items of clothing that you need to, so you're ready to take a bridge pose. Hands down by the sides, press the palms to the mat, relax the shoulders. Engage the belly by bringing the belly button towards the floor. Press into the heels and lift your hips up. you're welcome to stay right here. Or you can add on a little bit. You could hold the outside edges of your mat. You bring your arms underneath you. If you happen to have gone for that flipping of your dog, or you were really enjoying the opening of your hips and the front of your body, and you have a wheel in your practice, you're welcome to go for a wheel here. Placing your hands beside your head, fingertips pointing more or less back towards your shoulders. You will press into your heels, lift your hips, press into your hands, see if you can lift your head. You can set yourself just ever so gently, no more than 10% of the weight of your body on your head, and then maybe start to lift up a little bit. Feel free to adjust your feet here. You can stay for a few breaths. When you're ready, you can certainly lower down. We'll give you a little bit more time, especially if you're just getting into wheel. As you come out of wheel, make sure that you tuck your chin towards your chest so that you're not putting pressure on the top of your head again. When you're ready, your hips come all the way down. Just rest in neutral for a few breaths. It's a little bit of an energizing pose, bringing some life into our body. When you're ready, you're going to hug your knees in towards your chest one at a time. Rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe turn the soles of your feet up and go for a happy baby. And I'm holding the insides of my feet today just because that feels nice, but you can hold the outsides or the calves or the thighs. The more you listen to what your body wants, as opposed to what perhaps your ego wants, the better you will feel. Just because you think something should be a certain way in your mind, in your desire to look or act a certain way, doesn't mean it should necessarily be that way. Our bodies are often a lot less encumbered by these desires to fit in or to do the right thing. If you listen, they will do the right thing for them. And sometimes that takes a lot of work. We spend so much time not listening to our bodies. So you really have to practice. That's, to me, what yoga is about. Practice listening. Listening to your body. Listening to your breath. Listening to yourself. The more you know yourself, bringing your knees towards your chest again. Extending when you're ready, arms and legs long. The more you know yourself, the more you listen. The more you communicate with yourself, the easier it is to be the self that you desire to be. As you come to your Shavasana, just practice listening. Listen to your breath. Listen to the sensations that arise in your body. And here today, listen to your thoughts. Often we're told not to engage with our thoughts in Shavasana. But today, if thoughts keep floating by, certain something keeps rising up, perhaps you are trying to tell yourself something. You don't need to do anything with that information right now. You are just observing it. You are listening to it. You are hearing what you have to say. And you can choose how to respond later. For now, just the hearing, just the paying of attention is enough. Acknowledge that you have heard what your body, your mind, your emotional spirit have to say. course, stay and listen a little longer. If you have the time, I encourage you to spend it here. When you are ready to return to your day, breathe deeply in and sigh gently out. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll your wrists and your ankles. Make any movements down here on the floor that feel good before rolling yourself to one side. And rest on your side for at least a breath or two. Move gently, move slowly. From there, press yourself to seated. Any comfortable seated position for you today. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And we'll close with a deep breath together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your mornings with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you feel stretched out and ready for whatever lies ahead. Thank you, guys.